A question for Gil. Have you ever used HCG in addition to the TRT? And if so, what is your experience with it?
Oh, absolutely. We do this as an adjunct all the time with guys, but again, not with everyone. Not everyone needs it. Not everyone will benefit from it. So first we have to understand what HCG is. Excuse me. I believe the person asking the question probably understands it to a degree, but for those who don't, I just want to give like a very brief explanation. So HCG stands for human chorionic gonadotropin, fancy word for the pregnancy hormone that is released in a woman's urine or detected in a woman's urine when she is pregnant. What HCG does when it is injected by a man is it mimics, doesn't increase, but mimics a hormone called LH or luteinizing hormone. And that is a hormone that is generally in a healthy male secreted by the pituitary gland, the anterior pituitary in the front, and it is secreted into the bloodstream. It goes down to the testicles, and it works on the interstitial Leydig cells to stimulate production of testosterone. In the process, it also helps to maintain testicular function, and that testosterone production and intracellular aromatization or conversion into estradiol helps the Sertoli cells in the testes produce sperm. That's a process called spermatogenesis. For all of this to occur, we have to have two things present. We have to have good functional Leydig cells and good functional Sertoli cells. Here's the problem. When we make a diagnosis, and we always diagnose our patients prior to prescribing testosterone, most people do not, and that's a problem because low testosterone is not a diagnosis. Low testosterone is a sign. It is something you can see on a piece of paper on a lab report. Low testosterone is associated with symptoms. So you have the sign and then you have the associated symptoms. Neither is a diagnosis. A medical diagnosis is something that could be pinpointed as to why it occurred. What is the etiology or the cause behind it? So when we diagnose a man who suffers from low testosterone-like symptoms, we look at the chain of command of the luteinizing hormone from the pituitary and the signaling agent that goes to the testes, and we try to figure out where this chain broke or where it failed. In a male who is diagnosed with what we call testicular hypofunction / primary hypogonadism, his testes or his Leydig cells have failed. They're essentially either dying or they are dead already. In someone with secondary hypogonadism, the pituitary is failing to send a signal down to the testes. So if you are secondary and that pituitary signal is deficient, giving you a mimetic like HCG, which mimics luteinizing hormone, while it is suppressive to the pituitary, will in fact stimulate the Leydig cells to continue working. This does a number of things that are wonderful for some guys. It may help to preserve testicular function and prevent mild testicular atrophy, which is a fancy word for shrinkage of the testicles. It is purely cosmetic. There's no risk factors associated, but some guys don't like the cosmetic effects, so they complain of it. And I will state that probably maybe 20 or 25% of all patients on testosterone ever report experiencing this, so it is not as common as you think. And the second thing is because we're stimulating very slight endogenous testosterone production from the Leydig cells, the Sertoli cells benefit by maintaining some level of spermatogenesis. So this is very nice for guys who are, one, diagnosed with secondary hypogonadism, and two, still want to maintain some level of fertility in the future, coupled with prevention of testicular atrophy. Where does this not apply is for guys who are a definitively strong primary hypogonadal candidate, where their testicular function is completely diminished. Mimicking luteinizing hormone in otherwise non-functional testes is completely moot. It is a waste of money, and you're just buying expensive water at that point. So I apologize for the mildly complex explanation, but HCG is not a one-size-fits-all. It has to first be looked at from a diagnostic standpoint on does it fit into the equation or not. And this requires someone who understands the mechanism of the HPTA and why someone's production actually failed.